Sriracha sauce. A little zest to the flavor. It makes your mouth explode and then implode. Depends on what you eat it with. So, are you ready? Welcome to Cook Like a Thai Made Simple with Pradishaya Punyarit. This episode is brought to you by Cook Like a Thai. Cook authentically Thai with stories. Hello there, Sawadika. This is Pradishaya Punyarit at cooklikeathai.com, and this is Cook Like a Thai Made Simple. Let's get right into it. Oh my goodness, I have so many things for you. Today I'm excited because I want to talk about your favorite flavoring sauce, hot sauce, chili sauce, and that sauce is ta-da! Sriracha chili sauce. Yes. Let me tell you what it is that I'm gonna cover today. The first one, I'm gonna talk about Thai Sriracha, the original sauce. The second thing that I will cover is my first time experiencing Sriracha, and I was wee little. The third one, this is the one you're probably waiting for. You want to make your own Sriracha at home? Stick around for that one. And lastly, up level your taste buds and make sure that they go exploding when you hop over to the link that I'm gonna post here under the video. Download your guide of how you can up level with Sriracha in your Thai dishes. Okay, without further ado, let's get going. What is Sriracha sauce really? There are a lot of argument about it, and I will let you be a judge of yourself. I wrote two things. One was an article and another one was a part of the book. Let me get into the first one. I'm gonna read this, so I may use my pretty voice, but not so operatic. Sriracha sauce and oyster omelette. For some strange reason, the omelette that my husband made yesterday morning made me feel nostalgic for my childhood days. That was why I felt like adding Sriracha sauce, Sriracha, to the omelette. It also came to my attention that the sauce I have, although it was manufactured in Chonburi province, was not made by the original manufacturer, Sriracha Panit from Sriracha Chonburi. Bummer! A note to myself, make sure to get Sriracha Panit chili sauce next time I go to the market. First time I had the sauce, it was at a restaurant in Sriracha. Before my sister was born, my parents would take me to the beach in Bang San, Chonburi. On weekends, they would rent a bungalow on the beach. Memories of funny things, you know. I can still feel some of the things we did. I remember how warm the sand felt under my feet as I played on the beach with my mom and dad, and how perfect the water felt when I floated on top of my bright color inner tube. It was one of the happiest times of my life. We also enjoy eating at many local eateries. One time we stopped at a restaurant near Sriracha Market. My mother, or was it my father? Someone ordered all kinds of seafood dishes, including a dish called Kai Jiao Hoi Nang Rum, which was let me swallow. Which was an omelette with oyster. Now this may sound strange to you, but just think. Instead of the common deep fried breaded oysters, you get oysters dipped in eggs that will fry until golden and crispy. Every seafood dish has its own sauce, from the staple Nam Pla Prik Manao or Nam Pla Manao Prik, which is Nam Pla with chili and lime, to garlic green chili pepper sauce, aka seafood sauce. Sriracha sauce was brought out with an oyster omelette. I never saw it before and remember thinking that it looked so shiny and bright and orange. I was happy when my parents let me try it. As usual, my dad offered to help me get the food on my plate, but I insisted on helping myself. Yeah. My mom frowned. She will spill. but let me do it anyway. I remember breaking one large oyster off the platter and putting it on my plate and carefully putting the red orange sauce on the yummy looking oyster. The spoon must have been pretty small because I kept adding the sauce. My parents told me to stop because it would be too spicy. I put the whole oyster in my mouth and remembered how wonderful it was. I couldn't describe the taste since I was very young then, but I can tell you now that it felt like I was in heaven. It really felt that way. To their surprise, I enjoyed it very much and didn't even think that it was hot. Perhaps that was my first step toward my love for spicy food. If I remember correctly, the restaurant owners made the sauce, and after it became popular, they started bottling and selling it. It became so well known that there were imitation brands. Now you know that Sriracha sauce started out as a dip for oyster omelette at a small corner restaurant in a seaside town of Chonburi, Thailand. Being happy, being there with my parents made this portion of my memories stand out. So Ralph made a really good omelette. The added chili sauce brought back beautiful childhood memories. By Pradicaya, March 8, 2018. Wow! So I wrote this article when I was in Easton, Pennsylvania. And those days in Easton, I remember I had to go through so much what? No, I don't want to say pain, but it really felt painful when I wanted to eat some familiar Thai dishes, the dishes that I had in my younger days back in Thailand. And I just couldn't access ingredients for that. Because back then, even 2018 until now, the beginning of 2024, we have come a long way as far as growing ingredients or farming ingredients here in the United States. If not, our neighboring country, Mexico. So we have everything. Oh yeah, and on top of that, there are shops and Thai importers. Yeah, importers, right? They bring in the food. They import foods and even kitchen tools, equipment for a lot of us in the United States. So we could start making food the way the Thais do, the way we've been taught, the way we've been raised making them. Okay, so let's move on to the next article. Oh, it's not an article. It is a part of my book, 4 Elements You Need to Kickstart Your Cook Like a Thai Journey. And this is a tiny segment from it. Okay, let me just read it. Sriracha since 1913. There's a Thai brand that has been manufacturing flavoring sauce similar to Maggi, along with several other sauces. In fact, the owner was the son of the man who invented the original Sriracha dipping sauce. Later, it became Sriracha chili sauce. The Maggi-like sauce is called Grand Mountain sauce, named after the Golden Mountain from Sakye Temple or Wat Sakye in Bangkok. The brand name later became Golden Mountain. Sauce Pu Khao Thong indeed brought good flavors to Thai folks who couldn't afford to buy the imported Maggi. Maggi is very expensive, even now. Okay, so that's the whole thing about the manufacturer. The guy was the son of the person who invented Sriracha. Sriracha, not the town, but the sauce, his brand. There are 2 original Sriracha or Sriracha, spelling that way, but it's still pronounced Sriracha. One is pronounced the ending syllable with CHA, cha. The other one is JA, but you still read it cha. Okay, there are 2 original Sriracha brand owners. Both learned the recipe directly from his father and her uncle. Okay. The son started the Grand Mountain, later Golden Mountain brand, and produced several types of sauces. However, the niece concentrated on producing only the chili sauce, Sriracha. Today, this brand, her brand is spelled Sriracha, the cha instead of CHA. She spelled it J with a J, J-A. So Srira and then J-A. And you still pronounce it Sriracha. Don't even ask. She did that because she wanted to separate itself from the, that famous Vietnamese brand in the US and Heinz and other gazillion brands that suddenly named their sauce Sriracha. And there came out this argument about, Sriracha, is it a brand? Is it not a brand? Anyone can say Sriracha. They say that when they want to name their sauce Sriracha. So Sriracha is the name of the town where the sauce was invented, and the owner took the name of the town and make that their brand name. So it's Sriracha. There it is. The man, father and uncle who created this delicious sauce started bottling to sell it in 1935. Okay, because it did say that in 1913, Sriracha was invented. My guess is that it was invented, but it was used at his own restaurant. And I guess he didn't bottle it until 1935. Due to the pressure from his relatives and friends. Why not? Right? Because it was so good. Now, the original Sriracha, the Sriracha that I know, was spicy, sweet, and it has this certain, I guess it's chili smell. It smells so good. Let me read more of the story because you're about to hear about my first experience with the sauce. Yep, my first time experiencing Sriracha sauce was when it ran a small restaurant in the front part of the house where the sauce was produced. My parents ordered oysters, kai jiao. It is a crispy omelet with large oysters. When I said large, it's like it's no smaller than the shape of my hand. So for you on podcast, I just made this 3/4 circle with my thumb and index finger, and I went as big as I can because that was the size of the oyster that we had in that omelet, kai jiao. It's a crispy omelet with large oysters. The owner brought a bowl of red orange sauce to our table and invited us to dip the oysters in it. I've loved spicy food for as long as I can remember, so my parents didn't really have to warn me. As I bit into it, the juice from the oyster came squirting out and filled up my mouth, and the juice was a little warm. It wasn't too hot because my parents told me to wait a little bit so that the oysters would release the heat a little bit, otherwise my mouth would have blown up from the heat and the spices. Anyway, it was nice and warm, and I bit into it and it was so juicy and it squirted everywhere inside and dripping down my face. Within a microsecond, it mixed with a red sauce that already smells so good. Then the inside of my mouth did the two nearly impossible things. Oh my gosh. It first exploded. And just when I thought the food would spill out of my mouth, and we're not talking just dripping food or dripping sauce, but the food, I felt like it exploded with such burst that my mouth would open and everything would come out. Whoa, no, not in that way. It was like, wow, what is this? Just when that was about to happen, I felt like it sucked itself back in. Yeah, basically imploded. So it was this really strange but so intriguing, and oh my gosh, it's memorable. That was how it felt. The flavors that filled my mouth were really beyond words. So, wow. Of all this time, of all these years, I still cannot figure out how I felt. And I was about 4 or 5 years old when I wrote the first article. It was 2018. Even when I wrote this book, I still couldn't figure out, but it was just it was strange, but it was so interesting. And it wasn't just me. both my parents said something out loud. The three of us have been hooked since that day. Since that day. I mean, the implosion, the explosion, and everything just filled up all the cavities inside my mouth and a little bit outside. And even thinking about it, it makes me drool. I mean, my salivary gland is really working right now. And it's just so delicious. It's so yummy. It's so, oh my gosh. The feeling of fresh oyster with egg. Who would do oyster with egg? What a perfect combination between freshness and the umami of the Thai omelet. Crispy fried together with a little bit of this spicy yet strangely sweet sauce called Sriracha mixed together. And I mean, if I don't call it heaven, I don't know. I don't know what to call it. I don't know what to call it. It was just so good. Since that day, the three of us were hooked. Not on Sriracha sauce by itself, but Sriracha with oyster omelet. Only in later years would my mom cook us a great dish of oyster omelet every now and then. So whenever that happened, it's like I relived that experience. This never gets old. Every time I made oyster omelet here, I had to rush out to get the Sriracha sauce. But in those years prior to my mom's cooking it, we would stop to eat in Sriracha at that restaurant until the owner decided to close the restaurant permanently. And I guess by then they got more and more busy manufacturing. It's either that or they probably retired rich, extremely rich. Because Sriracha sold the cousin's company, also the son of the original inventor. They both sold their products to this big name in Thailand, and that company is now exporting the true Sriracha sauce all over the world. Yeah, not a bad impression at all. So, you want to get the sauce? How about if I give you the basic recipe? Okay? When I can find it, I will give it to you. It's not a secret. The company has the recipe right there on its website. But what it didn't give you was the ratio, how much goes into perfect Sriracha. Now, are you ready? Sriracha Hanit sauce. Both companies, the niece and the son, use the same recipe. This sauce is made with red goat peppers, equally sized, with glossy and smooth skin, and aged at least 3 months. Oh my God, are you kidding me? No wonder nobody can make it the way they make it. If I were to go get goat peppers, well, first of all, I have to see what goat peppers look like, right? And they pick the same size. Imagine me matching it. They all have to be glossy with smooth skin, no bumpity bumps. Oh, that's just the pepper part. Now let's add 7-day pickled garlic. And it has to be Thai garlic. It can be large size non-Thai garlics. Thai garlics, no. Got to be Thai. And you know what? When I was still in my food business, when we did the gourmet market, we hunted down Thai garlic because my mom insisted on using Thai garlic in curry paste. She said that they wouldn't be authentic without Thai garlic. We went everywhere from Bangkok to the outskirts of Bangkok. We went far away. We went in every direction. North, northeast, east, south. It's not really west. It's kind of like mush into central plain. Can't find it anywhere. Because when Thailand, third world country, right? Became a big lab for all these things. Yeah. This is one of the earliest places that they started growing all the weird stuff. When that started, it's natural that original anything Thai started to vanish. I'm really sad because I know what Thai garlic looks like. I've had food made with real Thai garlic. Well, I say food, but it's in the form of curry paste. The aroma, the flavor, everything was just so far different than even what I cook in my kitchen today because I use local garlic. Can be picky. I would say that my curry pastes are really good, but but you can't compare that to Thai garlic. I know, right? We got to the second ingredient. Don't worry, there are only 3 more ingredients. After that, there's some sugar, vinegar. They weren't specific about what kind of vinegar, so I would think distilled vinegar, and sea salt. Alright, so let's recap. We have here red equally sized with glossy and smooth skin, aged 3 months, goat peppers, 7-day pickled Thai garlic, sugar, vinegar, and sea salt. That's it. Now let's go make some. Yeah, I think you should just try making your own sriracha sauce, even though you know it is not the original. But you know what? I bet just that will be a lot better than the bottle sauces out there. You know, even sriracha sauce itself, they put in stuff to keep it from going bad, right? So if you can make your own anything, then you should. So let's go make some. Another thing I didn't mention is if you have tasted the real Thai Sriracha sauce, you will know that the sauce itself is sweet and spicy at the same level, and sour, but not super sour like Tabasco or even other competing sauces, competing Sriracha, or they call it Sriracha. The one thing that is missing in that bottle is the saltiness. Even though they add sea salt, they hold back on that intentionally. And this is why. They hold back on it because this is for dipping, for sprinkling on top, not for cooking. Most sauces, when it comes out as dipping sauces, like sriracha, is not cooking sauce. Sriracha is not intended to use in cooking. You put it on top. That's why it holds back on the salty taste. I figure the food that you make would be from generally bland, everything tastes the same, evenly, as equally, not no taste, but rather level taste. From there to salty dishes, because people, if anything, they would overdo on salt, nam pla, soy sauce, and other sauces. So those already go into your food. You don't want to add any more salt to it, to the wound. So you have right there sriracha sauce, which is anything but salty. So you add that on top. It adds a little zest to the flavor. It makes your mouth explode and then implode, depends on what you eat it with. So, my next step for you, are you ready? I would like to invite you to hop over to my webpage, click on the link below, and get there so you can download my little guide on what kind of food you should have with sriracha sauce. And this is important because a lot of people don't know how to use sriracha. I've seen people put it in the weirdest place, and I don't know about other people's sriracha, you know, the imitating brand, the brands that come later, but the original sriracha has its own favorite dishes. So hop on over and get yourself my guide. Oh, did I mention? It's free of charge. It's free of charge. You can download it for free. I want you to be able to do what you can with this information that you get from me. So download that and start enjoying the food. Up level your taste bud. Dial it up a few notches or several notches. Okay? You're gonna see a lot of dishes in there, and enjoy. This is enough for today. I've got to go, but I will be back next Thursday. Now you have a cook like a Thai day. Why only cook Thai food when you can cook like a Thai? I'll see you next time. ขอบคุณมากค่ะ Thank you and สวัสดีค่ะ Bye bye. Mwah.